Hello everybody and welcome to another reaction video on Peace Beats with Dan Blackwell. Doing something a little bit different today. I've had a lot of requests for a YouTube channel called Voiceplay. I've never heard them before. I'm kind of expecting something a bit like Home Free. I've heard a couple of their songs, so I'm thinking like a cappella group. I'm not sure what to expect with this song. There's a Viking look going on, so I don't know if we're going to see some Viking or some maybe Celtic influences. With a cappella, like there's a lot of sort of instrument emulation that's required in order to get the feeling of a band. And it's always interested me, a cappella music. You know, from the moment I learned that Don't Worry Be Happy by Bobby McFerrin had no instruments in it and it was totally his voice, which if you didn't know till now, blew my mind when I heard. And I listened to it again, I was like, oh yeah, it's all him going doo 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 doo, and he does all the bass and every little layer of it. He layers it up, but it sounds like a band. It's wonderful. And yeah, so it's a very interesting art form to me. I've noticed what's very popular recently is to have a really standout bass vocalist who can go really, really low and have that richness. That's very popular, isn't it? So what I'm kind of expecting to see is a bit of that, some kind of instrument emulation, and yeah, we shall see. I don't know, or maybe there will be music. I suspect it's going to be all voices, but let's find out what's going on.
My mother told me someday I will buy galley with good oars, sail to distant shores, stand up on the prow, noble bark I steer, steady course to the haven, hew many foemen, many foemen. My mother told me someday I will buy galley with good oars, sail to distant shores, stand up on the prow, noble bark I steer, steady course to the haven, hew many foemen, hew many foemen.
Woo! These guys all look like they've been created in the Diablo 4 character creation screen. I love it. Yeah, that bass, that's the sound. It's really, really big at the moment with this genre of music, and I'm so glad it is, because it gets you, doesn't it? Like when you get these guys that can hit these low notes, and you always expect them to look like this massive bloke, don't you? And it never is, never is. What's interesting with a cappella music like this is it's very much its own genre. Even though it can take on many things, these guys could be doing Disney songs, they could be doing Viking music, they could be doing Irish music. There is still this classic voice a cappella kind of genre going on with it, you know, a little bit. There's a kind of like Glee Club aspect to it, I think, and also a little bit of country. You know, I'm getting that. There's an a cappella group, I think they're called the Oak Ridge Boys. You know, they did the song Elvira. There's a little bit of that kind of country pop element in there, even though they're doing this kind of Viking soundtracky kind of music. It still feels very much within that. They could go into a country song after this and it wouldn't feel entirely out of place, which seems strange to say. All incredibly talented vocalists, aren't they? I love the stamping. That's the only sort of instrument they've got, isn't it? Is that percussion of them stamping on the ground. And they're hitting these really nice old, like, kind of Celtic and Viking scales that they're incorporating into this, just giving it that wild, you know, ancient European feeling that we love, right? Let's hear some more. It's absolutely beautiful, and I'm very intrigued to see where this is going to go. So I'm not feeling much of a build at the moment. They're kind of like jamming into it, but I've just seen the length. We're only a minute in, and it's 3 minutes 48. So I feel like there's going to be some surprises in here. let's crack on.
Haven, you many foemen, you many foemen. My mother told me someday I will buy galley with good horse, sail to distant shores, stand up on the prow, noble bark I steer, steady course to the haven, you many foemen, you many foemen. My mother told me someday I will buy galley with good eyes, sail to distant shores, stand up on the prow, noble bark I steer, steady course to the haven, you many foemen, you many foemen.
Woo! So the kind of what they're going with is they tend to have a consistent 3-part, sometimes 4-part harmony, and a lead vocalist going over the top of that, creating this really rich sound. Now the beatbox came in. This is another thing that we've sort of seen become very popular in the last decade and a half or so, I guess, with a cappella music. It's been a little minute now that it's been getting involved, and I'm very glad it has. But what they've actually done here is they have quite heavily produced set percussion that's going on, and the beatboxer is more giving textures to that beat rather than providing the full beat. Because initially see the beatboxer coming in, it's like, oh wow, he's laying down this really hard kind of beat. But actually no, we've got like a kind of hard, organic snare that's then been heavily produced on here, and we've got a kick drum. But he's producing all these nice layers in between it that give it this more tribal kind of feeling, I suppose. Give it this more kind of like breathy energy to it, this more like, you know, raw. Yeah, but it's making a really incredible sound they've got. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Let's keep going.
Told me someday I will buy a galley with good oars, sail to distant shores, stand up on the prow, noble bark I steer, steady course to the haven, you many foemen, many foemen.
Such rich chords they're creating there. And I think it's interesting with a cappella, with this kind of genre. I feel like acting is very much a part of it as well. Like, people who get into this kind of music, they tend to have an acting background as well. Maybe they got into this through sort of drama, film school, that kind of thing. Because you've got to fully invest in the character you're being in order to make it kind of believable what you're doing. And the most important thing with this kind of music is to have fun with it, and they clearly are. They're having a great time making this. And yeah, really, really rich textures in there, really beautiful. What is their best song? What should I, if you want me to react to Voiceplay again, what would be the one to check out? because I had a quick look and I was like, oh, been asked to do a few, but I'll go with this one. But I can see they do all kinds of stuff across the board. What would you like for me to react to next? And if you enjoy my reactions, hit the subscribe button. If you want to support me to make more, I've got to buy me a coffee, and I've also got YouTube membership on here as well. We've got ad-free sleep mixes and original music for relaxation, and more exclusive content coming soon. You can get that from only £3.99 a month. So until next time, everybody, peace and love. Take care.